I want everybody to take a break for a second, unless you're driving. Whatever religion that you belong to, wherever you go to worship, I want you to close your eyes and just imagine going to your place of worship, whether it be a church, a synagogue, a mosque, Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses, no matter where it is. I want you to close your eyes and just imagine you're in that building. The whole congregation is worshiping, singing songs, songs of praise. Maybe you're praying. No matter what you're doing, just imagine you are in that place of worship, that building, and all of a sudden you hear this loud roaring noise, this crashing sound. You hear tires screeching, and everybody starts to look around and pandemonium trying to figure out what's that sound, what's going on. And then you realize somebody has crashed into your building. Now, you may think, okay, something must be going on with this person. Maybe this person is drunk. Maybe this person is having some type of health issue and it's causing them to drive erratic, and maybe they accidentally crash into your house of worship. But then when you go to check on this person steps out of their vehicle, grabs a gun, and starts firing on everybody that he sees in front of him. The whole congregation is running, ducking, ducking behind seats, ducking behind each other, elderly people, women, men, children. Everybody is being trampled, trying to get out of the line of fire. But in the process of all this, the person began to set the whole building on fire. So not only are you trying to get out the gunman's way, you're now trying to get out of this burning building, which is now collapsing all around you. But perhaps the only way to get out of this burning building is to get past the shooter. This is exactly what happened in Michigan yesterday.
And topping national news, the FBI is investigating a targeted act of violence at a church in Michigan. There, a man opened fire before setting the building on fire as well. In all, 5 people were killed, including the gunman, while 8 others were injured. Roop Raj, the evening anchor at our Fox affiliate in Detroit, has been reporting from the scene all day and is joining us live tonight. And Roop, this has been a tragic day for your state.
It certainly has. We're coming to you from about an hour away from Detroit and about 20 minutes away from Flint. So we're just kind of in between the two cities, if you will. And in this small town of Grand Blanc, Michigan, about 400 yards away, there's a church that, of course, you've been showing pictures of all day long, and the whole country, the whole world has been watching. Inside of this Church of Latter-day Saints, there were parishioners who were there starting the morning off, presumably about 12 hours ago, expecting a nice day of calm prayer, when suddenly they heard a big bang. And it was that bang that was actually the pickup truck that slammed into the front of this church. And when that happened, apparently people thought, okay, maybe someone had a medical emergency. Some people started running outside the church to see what had happened. And when they ran out, this man, Thomas Sanford, investigators say, came out and just started spraying bullets in the parking lot. He was killed there in the parking lot, but not before shooting 10 people inside the church, or right outside the church in the parking lot as well, and also setting fire to the entire church. And when he did that, there were so many people who, of course, were trying to get out. They were actually covering children and older people with their bodies, trying to take care of those who are more vulnerable around them. And as they did that, the fire then started, and it's unclear if there were explosives that were inside as well that may have caused the entire thing to then go up. Now, I can tell you right now that some of the people we spoke with, they say that the ones inside that building are, simply put, heroes.
I don't care who you worship. I don't care what your belief is. I don't care where you go to praise. But for anybody to crash into, or for anybody to bring violence to what we perceive to be the house of God, something is seriously wrong with that individual. Because there was a time where women and children and the elderly was off limits. People looked at you different when you brought violence to a woman, to a child, to an elderly person. There was a time when churches were respected. Now, I would say that it's a little different when it comes to African Americans because, you know, back in the days during segregation, there were a lot of bombings in a lot of churches in the South, especially. Usually, in today's time, in modern times, the house of God, a place where people worship, was respected. It was respected as a place of peace, a place where people would go to congregate, where like-minded people will come together and just talk and exchange ideas and worship together in peace and harmony. There is something sadistic and demonic about any person that is willing to bring violence to a place of worship. There's something satanic and demonic about a person that is willing to bring violence and death to a person who is standing in a house of worship, no matter where you worship at, that is standing in a church, a synagogue, or a mosque, or a community hall. There is something satanic and demonic about the person that is willing to come in that place, a place of love, a place of peace and harmony, and bring violence to it. What type of person gets up and think about running up in a church? A church. When you think about it, being inside a church is probably the most vulnerable position you could ever be in because you're not paying attention to anything that's going on behind you. You're not paying attention to people walking in because usually a place of worship is a place where anybody can just walk in and you know and start praising with you. Maybe you can talk to them, but I would say nowadays a lot of churches are becoming a little bit more secure because you can't trust people anymore. But it's sad when you can't go to your house of worship with your family, your spouse, your children, your in-laws, your friends. It's really messed up that you can't do that anymore in peace. Matter of fact, you can't hardly do anything anymore in peace. It's like people now are avoiding peace and joy at all costs. People that are miserable, people that are unhappy, people that are dealing with internal issues that they haven't dealt with. They are internally tormented. Instead of getting help, they will bring that to others because they want people to feel the way they feel. It kind of remind me of that old saying, misery loves company. Now, I don't know too much about this shooter. I need to do some more research on this person. I haven't watched the news about that person. But I will tell you this. I have been on YouTube a lot and I've seen people who have left certain religions. And sometimes they get online and they'll talk about the religion. And they do it every single day. They would do it all day. They would post video after video after video about their grievances and things that they did and things that they hate about it and the things that made them angry and the things that just they felt ruined their life. I was one of those people. I done that before, but I had to stop. Because this is what's happened. If you don't want to be a part of a religion, if you don't want to go to that place of worship anymore, just don't go. Nobody's making you. You see, when you sit there and you talk about something that brought you pain, you sit there and talk about something that you say hurt you, something that caused you torment, whatever it is, whatever grievances you have with your past religion or church you used to go to, or whatever, the more you talk about it, the more spiteful you may become. Now, for some people, it may be a healing process, but it's a slippery slope. Because the more you keep talking about your anger toward people, the more you keep talking about how a certain group of people made you feel, how you feel they ruined your life. At some point, something can can snap. Something can go wrong in your life and it triggers you and you can resort to violence because now you're pissed off about how your life has turned out and you will begin to feel that the reason your life turned out the way it turned out is because of this group of people. When at the end of the day, the reason why your life turned out the way it turned out is because of your choices, your decisions. You chose to walk around holding a grudge. You chose not to get therapy. You chose not to talk to a counselor. It's not their fault. My heart goes out to those people who lost their lives yesterday. My heart goes out to those who are who are injured or who were injured. My heart goes out to the family members who may not have attended that particular church or may not go to any church or kingdom hall at all. Those people that lost their lives, those people that went to their church, they had family outside. They had friends. And now they're never going to see them again. They have to deal with this, they have to live with this. Those survivors, they now have a torturous memory that's going to torment them probably until the end of time. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in and listening to the Combo Release Show. Hope y'all have a great day. Everybody be safe. And once again, love your family, love your friends.